I was first matched when I was 5 years old to Aaron Zimmerman. We were matched for about 3 years before he was required to move for his job. I was then added to the waiting list. I was afraid that I may not find a big brother like Aaron, one who was always there for me and pretty much like a father, until the day I met John Speer. I was asked by Big Brothers and Big Sisters to join them on the KUIN morning show to speak on behalf of all the kids on the waiting list. Little did I know that this would be my last day on the waiting list. I was welcomed into the studio by Gayla Krause and John Speer. We began discussing the waiting list, and I was explaining to them how I was searching for a new big brother. John then looked me in the eye and asked me one question that would change my life forever. He said, "Joe, I used to be a big brother. How would you like it if I were your big brother?" Without hesitation, I said yes. I left the studio that morning with the biggest smile on my face. Of course, he had to go through all the paperwork, which took about 3 months, and then we were officially a match. We traveled all around Wichita for about 5 years doing speeches and events for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I still have a picture of John and I standing at a podium after we gave a speech. We were both wearing our matching KUIN t-shirts, and I could barely see over the podium. We will be celebrating our 10th Christmas together this year, and I can tell you that no one, except for my mom, has been such a huge inspiration in my life. I attend all their family events, and I just recently traveled with John and his wife to Little Rock, Arkansas to attend their family reunion. John has been the father figure in my life, and he's always there for me whenever I need him. Whether it be girl problems, school problems, or simply saving up for college. Yes, saving up for college. I'm a senior this year, and I've just started the scholarship process. I've been raised by a single parent my whole life, so money can be a huge issue sometimes. John has helped me apply for scholarships and also given me tips on how to find more money for college. I earned my Eagle Scout back in 2010, which has also helped me with scholarships. I asked John to say the opening and closing prayer for my Eagle Scout ceremony. Little did he know that he would be receiving an award that day. Each Eagle Scout presents a mother's pin and a father's pin to their parents. Since I don't have a father figure in my life, I decided to present the award to him. I will never forget the look on his face when I pinned the award on his lapel. At that moment, I looked in his eyes and I could tell that this would be a lifelong relationship. He gave me a huge hug and we both started tearing up. It was a moment I will never forget. This will be our last year as a match since I am turning 18, but that's just a match on paperwork. I know this match is long from being over. I also have a few funny stories to tell you about John. If any of you know John, you know that there is no end to his sense of humor. When we traveled to his family reunion this year, I had the chance to meet all of his sisters, nieces, cousins, and everybody else. I can't tell you how many stories I heard over those 3 days of how ornery John is and all the pranks he used to pull on his family members. So I got together with some of his nieces and cousins, and we decided that it was payback time. So we made a late night trip to Target to get some silly string air horns and party poppers. We got back to the hotel and came up with a sneaky plan to scare John. Since I was sleeping on the couch in the hotel room and they were in a separate room, I went in and told them goodnight and shut their door. We slowly crept in the hotel room, and on my signal we barged into their room and sprayed them with the silly string. We blared the air horns, and we scared the daylights out of John with the party poppers. But good old John just had to have the last laugh. The following morning, I went down for breakfast and got in line to turn in my breakfast ticket. And the lady that was checking the tickets asked if I was one of the teenagers that participated in the silly string attack. I got scared thinking that we were going to get kicked out of the hotel or something. I admitted to a silly string attack, and the lady pulled out a vacuum and told me that I had to clean up every bit of the mess or I couldn't have breakfast. I went to tell John that I had to clean up the silly string, and he started laughing and told me that he talked to the lady before I came down for breakfast, and he set up the whole thing. That was a good one, John. The last story I have to tell you occurred just a couple weeks ago. John's wife Patty took me to Riverside Park to take my senior pictures. We were almost done, and John showed up to see how things were going. Patty said that we should take a couple pictures together, and John said sure. As we posted the picture, I decided to make a wisecrack. I said, well, this is good. We can both take our senior pictures. He looked at me and started cracking up and said, Joe, I've trained you well. So to sum it all up, I can't even imagine my life today without John in it. And there's one line that I finish all my speeches with. John, you're not only my big brother, you're my friend and my hero.